What made you guys decide to cover Stonehenge and Big Bottom on Cruise to the Edge? I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend that is Mr. Charlie Griffiths. Yes.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Cool.
Thank you.
See ya. No, I'm joking.
Thanks for having
me. You're very welcome. You're looking particularly metal today. I mean, I'm enjoying this Charlie Griffiths. I'm enjoying the shaved head and the big long beard. It's been a while since we've seen you ready to rock, but your brand new album is out now. How madly exciting for you!
Yeah, it's been a long journey through a pandemic and all that stuff, and just used some of my time while we were off to write and record a whole solo album. Yeah, so it's exciting to have a finished product and put it out into the world. Yeah,
this album has been deemed as the world's first paleontology-based rock and metal album. What I want to know from you is...
Well, you say that, and then people always say, no, what about the ocean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just a kind of... that came from someone saying, how would you describe this album? And then I just sort of... That was supposed to be a joke.
It's been taken so seriously. Everyone's gone, oh my fucking God, like, seriously. My question was going to be, how do you know it's the first? But we don't.
No, it was just I just made it up.
Charlie, you're predominantly known for being the guitarist in Haken. Do you think that having a solo project is imperative to a main band's survival?
No.
What made you do this? You're being such an ass. What made you step out the Haken door and decide to do this?
Well, it was just like an idea I had. I've been like a geology and paleontology nerd since the 90s. I studied it at college.
True?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've just sort of always been fascinated with the topic, and I find it inspiring and sort of humbling subject about. And I just thought I've always wanted to do something musical with it, sort of build a sort of the concept album around it. And it's not necessarily something I would force on the other band members that aren't might not be inspired in the same way that I am. So it was just something that I thought I could do, and just sort of explore these thoughts I've been having over the years and put it into a kind of musical, artistic format. I am really emotional.
I am emotional. I am actually super amazed at the band, at the musicians, that are featuring on this album. So on this album, you've got Tommy Rogers from Between the Buried and Me. You've got our mutual friend Darby Todd, of course, of Devon Townsend. You've got Jordan Rudess from Dream Theater. You've got Steve Hackett, saxophonist, Rob Townsend. This is an incredible lineup. This must be for you a dream come true, aside from Haken's success, obviously.
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, and it was like, I picked the people based on the fact that I've met them along the way during like Haken tours and whatnot, and we've become friends. So it's not just that they're great musicians. It's just it's also that they're people that I really like a lot and want to work with, and happily, like everyone. So Rob Townsend was just like an awesome guy that we met.
Yeah.
Playing on Cruise to the Edge, and Steve Hackett's always playing, and we sort of bumped into him, and he was like really into Haken, and it was like, oh, that's cool. Like you don't sort of think that would happen.
Yeah.
And then he says, oh, if you ever need any saxophone, give me a call. So
charges a good rate, right?
I'm going to do that. Yeah.
But that's
The same,
incredible.
with Derby, we've been friends for years.
Yeah.
We live in sort of close by in South London, and just sort of known him through mutual friends and whatnot, but never really worked together. And so he was like, obviously he's an awesome drummer, but it was, the fact that he was. I showed him the music and he was just into it. He was just like really excited about doing it. And that was the same with everyone. It was great.
What you've essentially got here, Charlie, in my opinion, is you're actually birthing a super group at the moment. Are you going to make any plans to get this on the stage?
Oh, I would love to, definitely. Yeah.
Well, I want you to. So can you please make it happen?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it will be logistically difficult to get everybody that's on the album on the same stage in the same country, because everyone's,
of course.
Tommy, who's lives in California. Daniel de Jong is like one of the other singers. He was in a band called Textures. So he's in the Netherlands, and we've got Vladimir, who does the kind of more operatic, crazy sort of Mike Patton-ish approach vocals. He's Serbian, and so everyone's kind of like from everywhere. So it would be. I mean, ideally, it'd be cool to have everyone that's on it perform it. But maybe I'll have to do a stripped down version or something.
You've got to, man. You can't release something this good. And then, I mean, I remember when Arctic Cemetery was released, and I always make a point, especially with you guys, when there's a song coming out that I'm super excited about, I always listen for the first time with headphones. I think it's so important to have that first relationship with the record through not being distracted from anything else that's going on. For me, Arctic Cemetery being released first was such a great shout, because it was ballsy, punchy, it was catchy, it was kind of everything that I wanted to hear from you, but I didn't know what to expect, because this is your first kind of big solo project. Now the album's out there, now it's getting such positive feedback. Is there the scope for you to do another album? Have you even thought about doing another solo album?
Yeah, I mean, I've got this the subject I'm writing about on this album happened like 375 million years ago, right? So and we've got that whole expanse of time there that I could pull upon. So definitely I've got ideas for another couple of albums.
Really?
I would probably stay within the same kind of paleontological concept. But it's not just about that. It's like it's using that idea as a metaphor for our human experience, and just looking at our experience of the world, looking at it from a different perspective is really what it's about. It's like if you strip away all the stuff that we've invented over the last few hundred years, we've invented like countries and politicians and like hierarchies. And so it's like, to me, like thinking about evolution and paleontology, it's like it's just the last few hundred years are just like so really insignificant in the entire history of the planet. And that's kind of the perspective I've always had, really. It's like none of this is all made up. So like we're kind of conditioned to focus on the differences between people and the barriers, and like, you need a passport to go from this bit of land to that bit of land. It's like, if you think about it, it's like just ridiculous.
Yes.
You need a visa to go from here and work there. It's like, well, we're all the same. We're all just trying to live, right? And it's just
definitely
from that sort of long view of history and where we're actually come from, is just like makes it even more ridiculous to me. It's like we're all related. We're all the same family. We're all cousins, and it's like we should remember that more.
Absolutely, man. I mean, Jesus, I can definitely feel when I next see you, we're gonna have about 10 pints and a pretty serious DMC, man. That is gonna. But do you know, it's so nice to talk to somebody that is that deep, that really gets their hands into what they really are interested and emotionally invested in. And look, I know fuck all about paleontology, but actually to sit here and to listen, I mean, ask me about doner kebabs and I'll talk to you all day long. But when it comes to, all the stuff that you're interested in, I don't know much, but I'm sitting here, I'm listening to you, I'm learning, I'm finding it interesting. And at the back of my mind, whilst you're telling me about the subject that inspired you to write this album, I can hear it in the back of my head from what you have produced onto CD and the audio content in essence as to what has been released. If you were to do, and I mean, we're talking about your new album, but I'm already excited because you said that you're going to do like another 2 or 3. It's going to be like Nigel Tufnell's trilogy of albums, which is super exciting. I hope
still waiting for it,
mate. It's Spinal Tap 2. It's coming out.
Man. Can't wait.
So we should all go together. That's a date. Sorry, I'm already so excited about just doing that.
It's going to be amazing, like to find out what they've been up to all this time, isn't it?
Well,
it's going to be great.
Allegedly, I read something online, and I'm sure by the time this is out, this will all be different. I read something online that said that their manager Ian Faith had passed away, but contractually still owed them one last gig. That's all the information I can find at the moment. But I'm going to carry on digging.
Well, when we just did Cruise to the Edge, and we played Stonehenge.
I saw.
We had the Stonehenge and everything. Yeah,
Charlie. Honestly, man, if any band was ever going to do that, like, it would so be you guys. I've got to ask you, I know we're talking about your solo stuff, but fuck it for a sec. What made you guys decide to cover Stonehenge and Big Bottom on Cruise to the Edge?
Yeah, well, it was like we decided we were going to do a cover set because we on the ship you do one set of you do 2 different sets, and we didn't want to repeat the same music again, so we picked some covers. And because Yes went on the cruise, we did Roundabout.
Yes, I saw.
Just we're there to entertain the people on the ship, right? They paid a lot of money.
Yeah,
we want to make them have fun, right? And we were just thinking like, so we play Yes on the Yes cruise. Mm-hmm. There's only one band you can follow with after Yes. That's Spinal Tap. It's like, those songs it's kind of proggy, right? Stonehenge is like, it's not a simple song.
No.
Got like rhythmic twists and turns and like these little classical things and this mandolin part.
I was trying to see when you were playing Big Bottom. I was really trying to. There's only a few videos online, and they're from quite far back in the audience. I was desperately trying to see and hear if all of you were playing bass on Big Bottom as they do in Spinal Tap.
Well, we were. Rich and I play 8-string guitars.
Oh, yeah, it's basically
So we're kind of in the bass realm anyway. So we just did it like that. Yeah,
utilize that. Yeah. Talking of your 8-string and bringing it back to Tiktaalika, you picked up a 6-string for the first time in quite a long time for this album. How was that returning to an instrument that most people play as opposed to your 8-string?
Yeah, that's kind of what that was like one way, one sort of method to kind of separate my mind from, okay, I'm not doing a Haken album.
Fine.
So I'm just sort of use a different instrument that I usually use, usually writing on 8-string for Haken. But yeah, like going back to the 6-string, just makes you, your fingers fall differently, or your mind thinks differently on the way the fretboard's laid out.
Yes.
And it's just more of a, I was just more leaning into more of a sort of classic thrash style, like Dave Mustaine riffs, like Slayer riffs and that kind of thing. The stuff I grew up loving.
I was going to say this. I can hear the 90s thrash influence in this album. Was that a conscious decision for you?
I mean, that's just who I am. right?
Sure.
Those are my formative years. That's what made me who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, in the 90s, I was studying geology. I was like into like bands like Death and Morbid Angel.
Yeah.
Testament, whoever. And it was like, yeah, it's just, it's just who I am. And it was, I thought it'd be cool just to kind of put that on record.
This album has essentially been in production for like 20 years, from when you've been like studying and learning to play guitar to kind of where you are now. I know that we know that you're really busy with Haken. We know that you've done the tour with Symphony X. What is going to be next for you? Is it going to be more concentration on doing some Haken stuff across Europe? Is it going to be, you're going to be putting your fingers into different pies with regards to working with more people and collaborating? Where can we expect to see not just you as Haken, but you as Charlie Griffiths?
Well, yeah, the next focus, we released Nightingale, the single that's gonna that's just like a kind of precursor to our next album.
Mm-hmm.
That song will be on the album. It's just that's the only one we've finished so far.
Mm-hmm.
We will put it out before the tour, and so the next focus will be on finishing the next album, which is all written and everything, but we just have to knuckle down and get it recorded and mixed and mastered and artwork and all that stuff. Yeah. And once that's done, I'll probably, because that needs 100% focus.
Yeah, for sure.
For it to be what it needs to be. And then, I guess after that, I'll probably start thinking about my next Tiktaalika 2, whatever.
Tiktaalika.
Yeah.
There you go. That'd be amazing. Seriously, I do want some sort of royalties if you do use that. No, it's okay.
It's a legal record, yeah.
Well, no, in fairness, you wrote the theme tune to this podcast. So I think,
that's right.
Yeah. So we're even now.
I got into theme tunes. I wrote the theme tune to Timmy Tarlick's Time as well, which is my cartoon show that I made up for the Tiktaalika instrumental track, the title track. And I thought it'd be funny to make a kids TV show about it. So yeah, it's fun. I like writing theme tunes.
Dude, you are like, whenever I speak to you, you always give me such good energy, and you're always so approachable. And I've said this to kind of a few people that have been on the program, but it's people like you that actually builds fans' emotional investment in your music, in what you do, because regardless of if somebody after this goes and listens to Tiktaalika or checks out some new stuff from Haken, they're going to listen thinking, actually, like Charlie, he's not only is he, a great musician, but he's a super nice guy. So I actually think on behalf of your fans, I just want to say like a massive thank you for being just generally like so lovely, man, because lots of people in your position might not be as approachable because they're so busy, or they've got egos the size of Buckingham Palace, whatever that might be. But from me to you, purely on a level of humility, I just want to say thank you for being so approachable. It genuinely means a lot.
I mean, I would never think of being out any other way. Right? It's like everyone's equal.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. I'm like, we're lucky that we have people that are interested in listening to what we're doing, right? That's
definitely.
That's all it is. We just like play a show, and there's like people there enjoying it, and then afterwards we all hang out. Right? It's like everyone's there for the same thing.
What makes me feel, I guess, I kind of guess like what makes me feel kind of quite proud of you guys. Not, I know I sound like a really overbearing dad, but when I see you guys hanging out with, the likes of Jordan Rudess or Simon Phillips, on Cruise to the Edge, and hanging out with these really big icons in that world, I genuinely feel so full of joy for you guys, because I think not only Charlie, you as a musician, but also Haken as a band, that I know from becoming friends with you guys, I know how hard you work. I know the hours and the effort that you put in. And genuinely, I'm super stoked for Haken's new album. I can't wait for you to bring Tiktaalika to the stage, because if you don't, you're going to have a lot of disappointed people, including myself. So everyone, all the Haken fan base, all the Charlie Griffith fan base, we're all really excited to see what happens next for you, and I can't wait to hear more.
Thanks, mate.